What if Pokemon Scarlet and Violet introduced more Paradox Pokemon? Hey everyone, it's Macks Fakemon, or Macks, and if you didn't know, I'm an artist that specializes in Pokemon art. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the latest entries to the Pokemon series, introduced a new form of regional variant, known as the Paradox Pokemon. Well, technically, they introduced two new variants, but one of them is way more confusing. Paradox Pokemon represent the past and future versions of current day Pokemon, like Salamence or Among Us. Personally, I've always been a really big fan of what regional variants bring to the table, and the boost that they can give to forgotten or underpowered Pokemon, so this edition was definitely welcome. I thought, as an artist, it would be great to give my take on some new Paradox forms for some underloved Pokemon. In this video, I'll be showing 3 new future Paradox forms for Pokemon Violet, and in a future video, we'll cover some new Scarlet forms. First up, we have a future Paradox Banette. Banette has always been one of my favourite Pokemon, and it got the love it needed with Mega Evolutions. However, as you may or may have not noticed, Mega Pokemon have not been in the games for quite some time. This has led to Banette getting pushed right back into obscurity. My new form of Banette, Iron Scraps, seeks to remedy this by giving Banette a refresh on its look, stats, and origin. The original Banette is said to have been an abandoned doll come to life. Its Scarlet Pokédex entry stating, "This Pokemon developed from an abandoned doll that amassed a grudge." For my future Banette form, I decided to play off of the same idea, having it based on an abandoned toy robot, with a design reminiscent of those RC boxing robots you may have gotten as a kid. Toys like these are fun for a while, but are often seen as gimmicky and discarded very soon after, making this the perfect inspiration for Banette. For the design, I didn't just want to digitalize Banette like a lot of the future Paradox forms do. I instead wanted to give it the feel of a different Pokemon that alludes to it, almost like a cycle of hatred. To achieve this, I created a crack in the shape of Banette's eye and made its silhouette to be extremely similar to the base form. I also wanted to give this Pokemon a childlike look and based it off of Wally. For typing, I decided Ghost Electric was a great fit, and for a needed power boost with extra damage in electric terrain on top of Quark Drive, I imagined it would be a special attacker as opposed to the original Banette's physical attack. Let me know in the comments if you like how it turned out. Iron Scraps, the discarded Pokemon. It seems that in the future, a line of robotic companions were made to mimic the original Banette toys of old, but as the cycle repeats itself, these too were abandoned, and a spirit festered inside of them. These robots are now puppeteered by ghost Pokemon. Next up is a slightly more used, yet easily replaced Pokemon, Torkoal. Torkoal is a pure fire type turtle Pokemon that Bulbapedia tells me is supposed to resemble a furnace or kitchen stove. Okay. The furnace aspect of its design seemed slightly more plausible to me, and I got stuck on the idea of creating a more renewable energy based version of Torkoal. The original Torkoal design obviously uses, well, coal, a highly carbon emissive and primitive method of energy production for the modern age. With this in mind, I came up with Iron Fission, a future Torkoal variant based on nuclear fission and also fusion reactions. While not entirely renewable, nuclear power is almost 100% recyclable, as well as not producing any greenhouse gases. This fact and the mirroring imagery of nuclear smokestacks compared to Torkoal make it a perfect fit for a green energy future variant in my mind. For the final design, I went for a more home heating system look rather than a smokestack, as a lot of Paradox future Pokemon are said to be made by humans for their own personal commoditized use. Iron Bundle, for example, being said to be used for some unknown purpose in its Scarlet Pokemon entry. I thought it would be fitting for this Torkoal to be present in people's homes and be a sort of interactive power/heating system with its own built-in nuclear core, with more precautions put in place of course. I also tried to make the design seem entirely mechanical. I wanted there to be no mistake that this is an imitation, using a screw as an eye and piping as a neck. Due to the nuclear fission basis, I give it the quite unique type of fire-water to represent the coolant and reactant present. This type combination would also produce steam, so you could kind of connect Iron Fission by tubes or pipes to heaters around the house, as a sort of roundabout way to tying in my heating system idea. It has been pointed out to me that it may resemble a toaster. However, let me know what you think in the comments. Iron Fission, the nuclear Pokemon. It seems that in the future, nuclear power has become the norm. Nuclear fission-based generators were created for use in the home, and were modeled after long-extinct Pokemon. For the final Paradox form of today, I decided to go a funner route. This is a Paradox version of Honage. Honage is a steel ghost type Pokemon based on an old myth of a sword gaining part of its user's soul, as well as a possibly Tsukumogami, which I've just completely butchered, but describes a Japanese folklore creature that is an object inhabited by a spirit. Since we're doing future Paradox forms in this video and Honage is based on a sword, I thought why not just lean into it and create a lightsaber form of Honage. To fit the design more perfectly into a Pokemon world, I decided to give the blade a mystical fiery look, rather than pure energy, instead basing it off of the flames of Galarian Moltres. Galarian Moltres' flames are said to consume the soul of whoever they hit. I thought it would be neat that in the future of the Pokemon timeline, Honage were modified into even deadlier weapons using this property, being imbued with the flames of Moltres. This obviously fits thematically with a more Sith lightsaber, but for the shiny we could do a green hue to harken back to the light side of the Force. For typing, I think Fire Dark would fit the best, and the name Iron Saber comes to mind. Iron Saber, the dark Pokemon. It seems that in the future, swords as a form of defense have come back into fashion. Honage were modified using flames from a rare species of Moltres, creating malevolent living weapons with toggleable flame blade. As I said before, let me know what you think of all of these Paradox forms in the comments. This is my first type of video like this, and I plan on making a lot more, so any feedback is welcome. If you want to suggest future or past Paradox forms for me to create, I'd be happy to give them a look and create some viewer suggested Fakemon. If you liked this video and want more content like this in the future, please subscribe. It would really help out. Till next time, I've been Macks Fakemon. Bye!